Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. Just a couple hours or so ago, I put out a poll on social media platform X, and I asked the following. Have you been purchasing any cryptocurrencies in anticipation of the SEC approving a spot Bitcoin ETF? And the poll allows for two answers, simply yes or no. And again, this has only been out a couple hours or so. There's only 318 votes so far. It's going to go another 21 hours. But so far, 34.3% of respondents voted yes, and 65.7% responded no. So that's actually a fairly big chunk, even though it's the pretty strong majority that has not purchased any cryptocurrencies as a result of this expectation. But I will tell you right now that I'm in the yes camp. I haven't bought, until very recently, within the last few days, I hadn't bought any cryptocurrencies, I think, in probably about half a year. The last time I can remember purchasing, I'm pretty sure it was April, actually, and I talked about it on my channel at the time. So it's been a hot minute. But look, and my bags have been packed for some time, and I've said this many times before. But you know what? Like, I work and I earn more money, and I have to do something with it. So it gets invested in multiple ways. And since I haven't invested any more in crypto in some time, I'm just looking at this growing amount of cash. It's an unreasonable amount of cash that I have in my personal checking account. I'm like, I need to put that to work somewhere. And so I was like, you know what? I am going to top off some bags. I am going to purchase some more crypto. I'm going to talk about that and why I did what I did. And I'm kind of curious to hear what your feedback is, so I'll be looking forward to seeing what you guys have to say in the comment section also. But I do believe that, we're in the last phase of opportunity for those that want to purchase, because I think, at these prices, you can always purchase crypto at any price you want. You can purchase a decade from now when everything costs way more. You can do that too. I'm just saying at these price levels, I'm of the mindset that I don't think that we're going to be here for much longer, because once that spot Bitcoin ETF gets approved, we're going to be seeing some movement. But before sharing additional thoughts on this, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. And so to be clear even further, I'm going to share with you what I've been doing in terms of the few coins that I've purchased. This is not an invitation for you to copy me, okay? Just to be clear here, I'm just a dude on the internet. There's nothing special about me just because I have a YouTube channel. I just think it's fun to talk about this, so I'm going to share with you what I'm doing because it's fun, a fun conversation. You guys can tell me what you've been doing too. It doesn't mean go copy me. It doesn't mean that I have some sort of special wisdom. Or I'm not some sort of guru because I'm on the internet. No. I'm just a dude. There's nothing special about me. But still, I will tell you again, I reached a point where I was just like, I believe what I believe. And a lot of this I've been sharing leading up to this point. Spot Bitcoin ETF, I think it's a virtual inevitability. It's going to happen probably sooner than later. Many people think it's going to happen even before this year's out. And so a couple ways this could go down. Let's just assume that it will get approved. Even if we're wrong and it comes after a next batch of applications, meaning you actually would have more than 6 months before this gets approved, eventually markets go up anyway, so there's that to consider. But, if it happens sooner, then, we could have weeks or months. That may be all we have at these particular price levels. Because I'm telling you, once Bitcoin goes, it goes. And even if a little bit money gets sucked out of altcoins in the short term, look, rising tide lifts all boats. We know that the market moves in tandem. It's not going to matter here. So I decided that since I have, always earning money, I have multiple income streams, got to do something with it, right? So I decided to top off some bags. Now, XRP is my favorite cryptocurrency and my largest holding. So I didn't buy more XRP. I haven't bought XRP in 3 years. And I will tell you, even right now, like, if I bought XRP right now, I would think that there's something wrong with me. I spent so much money on it already. I'd be like, Matt, you have a problem. Like, don't do it. Don't do it. By a long shot, XRP is my largest individual crypto holding. And I will tell you, and this has been no secret, out of all the life-changing wealth that I hope to accumulate as a result of investing in crypto, the biggest chunk of it I anticipate, the biggest individual chunk I believe is going to come from XRP by quite a bit. That's my anticipation. So if I'm wrong about XRP, then the amount of wealth that I'm going to get from crypto will be diminished substantially. But I have the high level of confidence I have the conviction, so it is what it is. I'm going to be fine regardless, because honestly, even if all my crypto went to zero, I'm not counting on it for retirement. I have additional investments, and even if I just don't touch that, I'm good to go. But just because of compound interest. But but with this, this would be more than just the icing on the cake. So no, it wasn't XRP that I purchased because again, I think I have a serious problem if I actually purchase more of that. So what did I actually purchase here? Well, one of them was HBAR, and this is one of my larger holdings. And here, we'll go over the last 12 months. You can see, for those of you that care to look, this is a 12-month HBAR price. And I had purchased a bunch when it was, in the 4-something cent range, actually not far off from where it is now. And earlier this year, it ramped up quite a bit. It got up to, here, on February 11th, it was up to 9.5 cents. So quite a bit, and it's been trending downward ever since then. And back then, honestly, I had a stretch goal for purchasing HBAR, but then it started taking off, and I was like, well, I don't buy crypto when it's running. I just don't. So I was like, well, maybe I never hit the stretch goal. Okay. But then it came back down, and then I got to this point where I was like, well, I've got an unreasonable amount of cash in my checking account. I need to put it to work. And I looked at the price of HBAR. I looked at the chart, and I was like, it's back down about where I purchased it last, I think. So I just decided to buy some more, and I actually hit my stretch goal, which is pretty cool. And so I actually increased my total HBAR holdings by about 11%. So now, I mean, I always like to, I get to these points where I'm like, I'm done, I'm not buying anymore. But then if we don't hit the euphoria stage and then I keep earning money, then eventually it still has to go somewhere. So then I just keep topping off bags like periodically. And in this case, yeah, it's been about half a year since I bought crypto, is what it is. And HBAR, again, I'm not trying to it's not me telling you to go do what I'm doing. I just like to talk about this stuff. But there's a post from XRP community member Frecky, who has been in crypto since 2011, and he actually works in the world of finance. And he shared a post about HBAR, and he wrote, keep sleeping on it, smiley face. I'm not. You can congratulate me later during the next bull market. And it is cheap right now. I mean, HBAR, 4.7 cents, all-time high, 56.9 cents. So it is way down, which is why I felt enticed to purchase it. When it was closer to 10 cents, I was like, oh, well, I guess I don't hit the stretch goal unless it goes back down. And went back down, and I've got money. I was like, okay. So then I bought more. And I'm not fearful to buy when prices are low. That entices me. I get excited about that. And HBAR, it's back. This is one of those few cryptocurrencies that actually has real-world utility. I'm not going to get into it. It's outside the scope of this video. It literally does. It actually does stuff. There are tons of firms, and it's backed by some of the largest firms on the planet. So if you don't know why, be more curious, because there's a lot of here. There's a list on your screen, including Boeing, Dell, DBS, Google, Ubisoft. These are massive firms. LG, they wouldn't. There's over 20,000 cryptocurrencies, and they're not involved in the other ones. You might want to notice that. So I think eventually the world catches up and figures this out. So I'm almost as excited about this as I am about XRP. And then there's also Flare. Now Flare is down substantially, and so I got excited about it. In fact, so I increased my Flare holdings by 45%. Now look, here's the thing, and actually I'm going to share with you a little back and forth that I had with the Flare community X account, because we seem to be of a similar mindset here. In fact, why don't I just pull that up right now and we can talk about that. And I'll tell you, because I bought 3 cryptocurrencies all within the last 3 days. And by the way, I'm planning on buying more. I'm probably going to get into some other stuff. But here, there's this post from the Flare Community X account, and wrote the following. And this is just yesterday morning. When the amount of people that believe a price of an asset is going lower reaches a maximum, it usually starts going higher. When the amount of people that believe a price of an asset is going higher reaches a maximum, it usually starts going lower. Okay, now folks, that's spot on. That concept I've been talking about, and it's well known within crypto by those, at least by those people who are not, the useful idiots out there, the people who are not the retail speculator lemmings. Spot on, absolutely accurate. It's the old Warren Buffett concept of be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. It's that. And so I responded to him, and this is yesterday morning before I bought more Flare. I wrote, yep, and I'm thinking about buying more Flare today. Sentiment is dismal. And so think about this. Everybody's down, and it's been trending down, and it may very well go lower. I mean, the price of Flare is right around its all-time low. And so I looked at that, and I got excited. And maybe it goes way lower, and if it does, okay, that would entice me to purchase more. Because unless the fundamentals change, yeah. And so Flare Community wrote back to me and said, for sure, but that's a good thing for those who understand market psychology, right? It's funny. The people screaming how amazing Flare is when it's going up are the same people urging people to sell at the lows. It's a telltale sign of an emotional investor that believes the developments/utility of a network are directly correlated to the price of the native asset. Price high, good project. Price low, bad project. Yeah, and so he's absolutely correct on that. That is how people operate, but it's not right. And so I responded to Flare community and wrote the following. If anything, the utility and future prospects for Flare have never been better, though the price has never been lower. I bought more Flare this morning, increased my total holdings by about 45%, and wrapped it immediately. And so I look at this, I'm like, the price keeps going down, down, down. And so look, it's the same thing with XRP, because look, I started dollar cost averaging into XRP after the bubble burst at the beginning of 2018, near $4 when it hit its all-time high. And it may have been the summer, whenever, you have to look at the chart to see whatever it is, but I remember I purchased XRP like right at 55 cents, and it kept going down, and I bought more and more and more. And I understood the price going down didn't mean that there was something wrong with XRP, because I understood that XRP was moving in tandem with Bitcoin, and it wasn't actually based on utility. It was just the emotional human speculators. So that is not a reason. The price going down is not a reason for me to not purchase XRP. It's also not a reason for me to not purchase Flare. That would be bad rationale. That would be irrational. I'm not going to be like that. Now, what I'm seeing instead is additional adoption of XRP, additional adoption of Flare. That's why I'm bullish on these. Same for HBAR. I'm seeing things go in the right direction regardless of the price action. The price action is not representative of the underlying utility and adoption and long-term viability. It just isn't. I firmly believe that to be the case. And so, yes, they could all go way, way, way lower in price. But there will be enough people out there like me, I believe, so it's not like it's actually going to hit zero. It could go way lower, sure. But then again, like I said, I'll just be more enticed to sell. So what would it take for me to change my perspective about Flare? Well, the same it would take for me to change my perspective about XRP or any coin that I believe has a bright future. I would have to see a fundamental shift in the ecosystem. There would have to be, there's a bug in the code and it can't be resolved. Developers fleeing, it's stuff like that. Now, if I see that, then I will, if I actually see that, then I would sell at a loss, even if it's a substantial loss. But if I don't see that, then I'm going to be enticed to hold. And that's why I sleep easy at night. I understand these things. I firmly believe it. There's enough market history to show that this is how people behave. Why would this freak me out? And so now I have a 45% increase in my Flare holdings. And then I wrapped my Flare so I get all the future Flare drops too. And yeah, look, it could go to zero. HBAR could go to zero. XRP could go to zero. I could be wrong about individual horses, but I don't think I'm going to be wrong about all of them. And I hold about 30 different cryptocurrencies. So for me, it's about having broader exposure. That's it. And then the third one I bought, and don't laugh at me for this, I haven't bought this in forever, and I don't think many of you would have guessed that I do this. I bought more Bitcoin. I haven't bought Bitcoin. I couldn't even tell you the last time. It's been years, literally years. I'd have to go look it up. I couldn't even tell you. And so why did I do this? Because again, I told you I'm not that excited in Bitcoin. I've been saying that for years, and that is true. I'm not particularly excited about Bitcoin. It's not the way to get life-changing wealth, so why am I doing it? Well, number of reasons. One of them is I got to put my money somewhere anyway, so that's what set this off. But I like to be diversified. I know that Bitcoin has always, and for the indefinite future will always, lead crypto markets into recovery. So my thought here is this market cycle, because let me say this too first, in case some of you don't know. I have never sold a single XRP in my entire life, ever, not once. I've also never cashed out any of my crypto holdings into United States dollars. Now, mind you, I've been in the space almost 6 years, but that's why we see for my holdings, some of the cryptocurrencies that I purchased the longest ago is some of my greatest, profit zones. Like in terms of percentage increases, like I'm obviously way up Bitcoin, way up on ETH, way up on XRP, and just there are a number of like that. But then for the coins that I've been purchasing over the last 2, maybe 3 years, I'm down on a ton of them. And that shouldn't be surprising. So just like I was down on XRP for the first few years because we're in a certain range, well, that's the same thing here. So like I'm down on my Filecoin, I'm down on my Flare substantially, I'm down on my HBAR. There are a number of them, so I'm down on a lot of those. But I didn't, just like I didn't care that I was down on XRP for probably a good 3 years. Most of the time I was down on it. And I even bought it as low as 15 cents. So I bought it, think about that. I bought it at 55 cents. I also bought it at 15 cents, and I was cool with that. Same concept here with these other coins. So when it comes to Bitcoin specifically, the way I'm looking at it is this is going to be, my plan is, this is going to be the first time that I do take profit and I cash out into United States dollars, Bitcoin's going to lead the way. And I don't know at what point altcoins will pop off relative to when Bitcoin hits its high. And so my thought is I'll be scaling out of Bitcoin as it rises, and I'll be taking profits from that first. And I'm probably just going to keep them. I don't anticipate putting that back in. So even though I don't expect a life-changing wealth, I just put a little bit into Bitcoin, not a crazy amount, not a ton, because I'm counting on the altcoins. Like, my strategy hasn't changed. I'm still counting on the altcoins for my life-changing wealth, assuming I'm right about my investment thesis here, just in a general sense. But sure, yes, some Bitcoin purely because, look, there's going to be the Bitcoin ETF. I still think that's coming, and I think there's limited time here. So I was like, this is a good time for me to put stuff in, probably. We'll see if I'm right about that, but that's my suspicion. And then I'll just sell that finally for the first time ever. I'll just take that money back. It'll be a little bit higher, and I'll just take it. So, I mean, it might surprise some of you that I'm doing that, but I just thought about it. I was like, why the hell not? Why the hell not? Just a little bit, for the sake of diversification, So that'll happen, and then presumably certain alts are going to pop. I don't think that every single altcoin is ever going to hit a new all-time high. I think I know they're all moving in correlation with Bitcoin, so I expect that to continue. But I'm not convinced that all the altcoins out there are going to do what they did in 2017 and hit an all-time high and go ballistic. Because we didn't see that last market cycle. So we are seeing, I think that's an indication of some level of maturation of the asset class. So you still see the correlation, which has got to break at some point. Maybe it'll take a really long time even from here for that to happen. But you are seeing that even last market cycle, we didn't have the crazy alt runs where all alts were hitting all-time highs. Some did. And I think XRP would have if not for the SEC attack, obviously. And so those are a few of them. I'm going to be purchasing more. I'm doing the dollar cost average thing. I might increase some, I don't know. I don't have plans right this second to purchase more HBAR or Flare. I may, if enough time passes and the opportunity's still there, and I got to get rid of some cash because I don't want to keep my too much of my net worth in United States dollars. Maybe I'll go back and buy more. And I'm happy to talk about this stuff when I do it because I think it's a fun conversation. But I am going to buy some other cryptocurrencies, maybe top off on some of my other stuff that I'm currently down on. So again, I'm treating all of these the same way that I treated XRP because again, unless I see a fundamental change in terms of long-term viability, the lower prices don't scare me. And they, if anything, they get me more excited because I just think it's an opportunity to buy. And I understand that most people don't have the emotional fortitude to respond that way, but I actually do. I'm really good at that. So I'm just going to respond that way. It's just what I do. I sleep easy at night. I will purchase there for you, no problem. Happy to do that every single time. Also, there's Vechain. I don't own any Vechain. I still don't. This is one that I'm considering opening a position. I know a ton of you listening hold Vechain because I know that this just happens to be another coin that a lot of XRP holders are into. And why? Because it's about solving real world problems. So if you're attracted to XRP, you're attracted to utility, right? And, right? Isn't that why we're here? That's what we find attractive for long-term viability. Well, similar with Vechain here. And I haven't done research on it. I did a fair bit a couple years ago because in 2020, wasn't it? Yeah, it was 2020. I actually had made up my mind that I was going to purchase it. I was looking at it. And then when I finally decided to actually pull the trigger, I found out that the price of Vechain, it was actually running. And so that would have been, here's an all-time price chart for Vechain. I can't remember exactly when this was, but it would have been, because I remember researching Vechain when it might have been like under a penny, and it was over a somewhat longer period of time. And then it started running, so maybe it was around here. Maybe it was the beginning part of 2021. But once I started seeing it running, I was like, oh, nope, I'm not going to worry about that. Because anytime I see a crypto start to run, I don't FOMO in. I just chalk it up to a loss. I didn't get in. Okay, missed that one. Well, there's over 20,000 coins. That's okay. So I missed out on Vechain. And it went from when I was looking at it under a penny, it hit a high of, 23 cents in April of 2021. So missed that one. Okay. But it's back down. Now it's down to 1.6 cents. So now that it's lost all that value, I'm considering purchasing. I do want to research a little bit more first. I don't know for sure if I'm going to, because again, at the time, that was years ago, it seemed like there was a possibility for it to continue solving real world problems, actual utility. I need to do a little bit of a catch up to make sure that the ecosystem still seems promising. And, there are so many coins. Like, I don't pretend to be some sort of wizard about this stuff. I'm taking, like, the everyday man's approach, which is you do as much surface level research as you can, do some amount of due diligence, and then put some money in, and then just see what the hell happens. And it's kind of like you're making your own little crypto index, and then you don't beat yourself up if some stuff goes to zero and you never get your money back. Like, that's how I treat it. And that could happen. But I want to make sure I'm doing some amount of research, make sure it makes logical sense if I'm going to do this, because I've always been way more attracted to coins that solve real world problems and actually have utility. So now that it's back down to this price level, this is another one of those situations where I'm like, oh, well, this might be a good time for me to jump in. Maybe it goes a little bit lower. That'd be great too. But I want to look into a little bit more, and if it still makes sense, like I thought it did a few years ago, I actually might get myself finally a position like I intended to back in like 2020 when I started looking into it. Because look, crypto's volatile, it's crazy, but assuming there's still a sound ecosystem there, in terms of the way humans treat this stuff, why wouldn't it then hit a new all-time high? But again, not every coin will. I think that the asset class is maturing and money's getting a little bit more picky. So as long as there's a reasonable and sound ecosystem, and if you guys have any sources that you think that would be useful, feel free to share them in the comment section below. I'd appreciate that, and I'm sure other people would be appreciative of that as well. Or you can share them on X, social media platform X. And what have you guys been doing on top of that? Let me know what you all are thinking. If you're somebody that's been purchasing, let me know what you think about what I did. Just interesting, just for the sake of conversation. That's all. And let me know what you're doing here. Whatever you're doing, and we're all going to do different things, and we all have different goals, and we all have different thoughts on this stuff. So it's not going to be exactly the same for everybody. But that's why it's kind of fun to have these conversations here. There's no perfect answer that's right for everybody. But let me know what you're doing if you care to share. And just got to keep the conversation going. But I really do believe, again, just to kind of wrap this up, I think that we're approaching the last bit of time where we're going to be at these prices. And again, it doesn't mean it's going to change tomorrow or next week or next month. And maybe it is more than half a year away. And if so, okay, fine. But right now, with prices over there, they look attractive. They still do. Despite the fact that Bitcoin's way up compared to where it was at the beginning of the year. I mean, where's it going to go? I mean, because look, I'll be enticed to sell Bitcoin when it hits 6 figures, which I think is an inevitability at some point in time. Once it gets up there, I'll just sell. And if it keeps running, whatever, I'll just take my little bit of profit and go on. And then I'll wait for my altcoins to go. But again, even if it takes more than 6 months, whatever, okay. The point is, I don't know when it's going. I don't have a crystal ball. And so I feel like we're approaching that. Even if it's more than 6 months, we're still in that last period of time where it's the last chance to buy. So I bought. That's what I did. It's the last chance to buy, so I bought. And last chance doesn't mean that this is the last second or the last day or the last week or the last month. But it's a period of time where it seems like even though nobody knows for sure, I get the sense that we're pretty much there. And then we're going to have the fireworks again. I remember being in this position several years ago. And we were just waiting, 2019 and 2020. I remember what it was like. That was accumulation time. And it was an inevitability that things would rebound. And so that's where we are in the cycle right now, I believe. And I was buying stuff back then. I'm buying stuff right now. And then when it runs, I'm going to stop. I don't buy. Anytime a coin starts going, I do not buy. If I miss it, I miss it. That's that. I don't care at that point. So anyway, that's what I was thinking in a nutshell. Just thought I'd kind of run through some of it with you. You guys tell me what you think. I'll stop talking. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.